Alright, just checking audio still coming through alright. So I had to change the setup a little bit for the PS3. Have to run it through a few things to get rid of the HTCP and so on. Yep, sounds alright. Okay, gonna start with a bit of Castlevania Harmony of Despair. This is the Castlevania that had questionable reception, but I really like it, so I'm going to play it a bit. Oh, look at it, I'm So for those who never played this one, this is kind of a strange take on Castlevania, and it's sort of like a Castlevania greatest hits, I guess. So it takes you through a bunch of time attack levels based on various sort of bits and pieces from Castlevania history, and challenges you to defeat bosses and so on. So you've got a bunch of different characters to choose from. You collect loot as you go through, unlock new abilities, all sorts of things like that. So I've actually played this a bit with some of the other characters, but just to give you an idea of what it is going from pretty much the beginning of the game. We'll go with Alucard here, who's been played for 17 minutes. And we'll go from the first chapter, see if there's anything we can buy him to begin with. I've got a bit of gold to spare, so... got some nice swords going on. That might be a good idea. Let's give him one of those. It's got a kind of strange structure because... although you've got all these different characters, the inventory is shared between all of them, so... it allows you to sort of use one character to twink out another one, basically. See, all this loot that I've got here has been acquired by other characters at some point, and I can now just equip it straight onto Alucard to give him a bit of a head start. Scarf's pretty good, as I recall. Gold stud, that will do, give his defense up. And then you can carry an item with you as well that you can use. This is like a consumable item or something. It's not always especially useful unless it's like a potion or something. So like you got super potions there, they restore all your hit points. But we'll just go with that for now. And go from the first chapter. Basically a classic pixel art Castlevania, but in HD, which is absolutely fine by me. So all these characters have got a lot of their classic moves from previous games. Sometimes implemented slightly differently. So Alucard, for example, has got you can summon spirits by tapping the circle button. He's got his double jump from the start.
Come forth!
Ooh, excuse me.
Come forth!
Excuse me. Just going to pause and take a quick drink. Turns out that blathering on about games all day does have a slight effect on your throat.
Come forth! Come forth!
While this game sort of lacks the main kind of Metroidvania element, the sort of ongoing exploration of one big map, each of these levels that you do is basically like a mini Metroidvania in its own right. So you have to explore it fully, unlock passageways, find the best route to the boss, and then defeat the boss.
Come forth!
That's what you've always been doing in Castlevania, just on a slightly smaller scale and a level at a time. So it's, I guess, sort of a cross between the old ones and the newer ones. And it has amazing music. Because of course it does. Drinking Alucard out with that armor was a good idea. So, not taking a whole lot of damage from anything at the moment, which is good. This is the other advantage of it being in HD, is you can zoom right out and see the whole map and still play the game. That particular function is quite helpful when you're doing the local multiplayer mode, which was added for this PS3 version. This came out on Xbox 360 originally, but they then ported it to the PS3 and added local multiplayer for that one, which is good because I don't think there's a whole lot of people playing this online anymore, unfortunately.
Come forth!
Which is a shame because it's a lot of fun in multiplayer.
Come forth!
Sort of Lutory Diablo sort of way. Good old Castlevania secrets.
Come forth!
And you'll see there's certain things here and there that are unique to different characters. So, for example, these little circular bits here, these are unique to, I think it's Shinoa, possibly. You can grab those and use those to sort of swing herself around and do all sorts of things. Get to different areas in different ways. Alucard's got things like his double jump to get around. I think most of them can double jump actually, but it's only a couple have got the ability to do things like swing off hooks and that kind of thing. Yeah, here we are. This is around the stage where this level starts getting interesting as the boss is firing stuff at you from across the map. Never been entirely sure what that bell's for, but I would pick it up anyway, just in case. The secrets are fun! Uh-oh. Ouch. I do like that Alucard's dash slide is just him turning into wolf form. That's a nice touch. I think you can turn into mist form as well, if I remember right. You just... Yeah, there we go. I can't remember how useful that is, but might be able to block some attacks that way, perhaps. Now, if I remember rightly, once you shoot all the water out of this bit, you can then... drop back down into this bit, which is full of water now, and use the water to hop out of there. Go into this bit that's full of spiky bits of death. A lot of this stuff is completely optional, so what I'm doing here is unlocking some bits that either make it easier to get to the boss or make your life a bit easy once you get to the boss, so you'll see what I mean in a minute. You see we're acquiring loot as we go through as well. And that can either be sold on or... Oops! Equipped on other characters or used for useful things. Right, so if I drop back down this way, alrighty, no worries, thanks for stopping by. And I will maybe see you later if I'm still alive and or awake. Yeah, thanks for sticking around for so long and thanks for chatting. It's always good to have some company while this is all going on.
Come forth!
Most of the areas you can get to by yourself. There's the occasional area that you need co-op support to get to, but those are pretty few and far between, and there's nothing essential in those ways. It's generally just maybe one or two extra treasure chests or something like that. Alright, here we are. So this is the useful thing you can do down here. You can take out some of these enemies here. And that means you'll have a much easier job when you get to the boss. Pretty much everything you kill in a level in this stays dead. So once you clear out part of the level, it's clear for the rest of that run.
Come forth!
Can't go any higher for the minute, I think, unless that one does it. Yes, there we go.
Come forth! Come forth!
I do like they kept in the old motion blur effect from Symphony of the Night on Alucard. It's always been a part of his identity. Where do we go now? Oh, we can get out up there.
Come forth! Come forth!
Those of you who know your Castlevania enemies, you'll be able to spot the ones who are particularly useful to get rid of with ranged attacks.
Come forth!
And yes, there are Medusa heads in this game. All the old favourites.
Come forth! Come forth!
There's the boss. In fact, if you want to, you can just use this whole bit as a big shortcut to the boss and just start fighting him straight away. Which is what we're going to do right now. You're supposed to be able to do each level of this without taking any damage, but I'm yet to figure out a way of not taking any damage from this boss. Don't do any bullshit like that. But no matter. It's normally not a huge issue because there's that. And this is why what we just did is useful. Because otherwise you end up falling down here and there's a load of enemies down here and they all kick the snot out of you while you're trying to kill the boss. It's very inconvenient.
Begone, fiend!
Begone, fiend. Alright, so that's one level down. There's Alucard, as you can see. It's taking some pills from my throat. Right. So let's move on to the next chapter. This one is actually quite a bit tougher, but I think we've probably got enough equipment twinked out on Alucard to make it workable already. So, yeah, one of the big reasons people didn't like this game all that much compared to sort of some of the classic Castlevanias on PS1 and DS and so on is the fact that there's a lot of repetition in this. There's a lot of replaying old levels to sort of get better loot and so on. Because like I say, more than anything, it's basically a loot whoring RPG rather than a traditional Metroidvania. And as anyone who's played something like Diablo or anything will tell you, there's a lot of repetition in those games. A lot of doing the same quests over and over again, playing the game again on different difficulty levels, all sorts of things like that. And yeah, it's just the same sort of thing here. It's just that's not typically what people expect from a Castlevania game. Love the animation of this.
Come forth!
Dumbass skeleton kicking his head around.
Come forth! Come forth!
This level's based on Portrait of Ruin, I think, as you can probably tell. A lot of stuff is just set dressing though. There's not generally any real big puzzles that you need to do, but for those who know the source material, there's plenty of references there.
Come forth!
Doing this becomes relevant later on.
There you go.
I just love Castlevania's long-standing juxtaposition of gothic horror with tiramisu.
Come forth!
There's not many games you can say that about.
Come forth!
I just really like this because it's just still got really tight platforming. It's got lots of nice control over your character, whether you're using the analog stick or the D-pad. It just feels really nice to play. I say 3D is all very well and good a lot of the time, but
Come forth!
sometimes you just have a craving for a bit of 2D, and the nice thing about this game is it gives it you in sort of nice short bursts. You probably noticed in the top right is a time limit, so each level is no more than half an hour long, usually quite a bit quicker. fancy a quick bit of Castlevania, you don't have to start Symphony of the Night for the umpteenth time or whatever. You can just boot this up, choose your favourite character, and have a bit of fun. And if you can bring a friend along who also knows how to play Castlevania, so much the better. There's actually quite an entertaining sort of revival mechanic in this as well, where when someone dies in a co-op game, they turn into a skeleton for a little while, and there are ways to bring them back to life and so on. You find, I think, like revival water or something like that as one of the items in chests, which is something you don't get in single player for obvious reasons. But yeah, while they're wandering around as a skeleton, they can do things like sort of chuck bones at people and that sort of thing, and just generally get in the way. There's certainly the old thing of if you're playing with someone who doesn't know the game as well as you, or isn't as good at the game as you for whatever reason, then it means that they can still feel like they're having a bit of an impact on what's going on, rather than just either sitting back and watching, or not, at worst, not being able to participate at all once they've died. Oops. That's not good, is it? Okay. It's opening that door up there. So.
Come forth!
I believe this was the last Castlevania before Lords of Shadow as well, so it's worth playing as sort of the end of an era if you haven't tried it before. And it's often in PSN sales and stuff like that. There is a bunch of DLC for it. I mean, you don't need any of it. There's, I think, 6 levels built into the base game. But then the DLC expands that to, I think it's 8 or 10, something like that. One of which is based on some classic Castlevania. There's one based on another old Konami game as well that I forget the name of offhand. And then some based on various other Castlevania bits and pieces from over the years. It's a sort of one in a pyramid and... As you can see, the whole idea behind it is sort of classic enemies, classic settings, classic spells, classic characters, all that sort of thing. A lot of fun. It's a very underrated game in my opinion. One of many games that I think kind of lost out for the sake of it not being what people wanted it to be, and that meant that they didn't really judge it on its own merits. They just judged it on what they thought it should be, which was like another brand new Metroidvania style Castlevania, but instead what they got was multiplayer time attack Castlevania. Which, like I say, I was certainly all in favour of, but much of the rest of the world disagreed, unfortunately. Still, it was ever thus. I've learned to accept my lot in life these days, given the sort of things that I'm into. You can probably see even within this one level there's a lot of variety, so we've been sort of exploring that castle bit down there with all the sort of rooms full of toys and so on, and now we're up in sort of the snowy lands. These shacks with old electric lights and witches hovering around in them. So those books there, those aren't save points. Those are just places where you can go and modify your loadout of equipment, and maybe add some new consumable items if you've used them already. Don't think you can change character mid-level. You can certainly change your equipment. So, like, if you find something really good in a chest, for example, you can then go and equip that at one of those books. Can't quite reach that. I think that's one of the bits you need to be playing in co-op to get through. You have someone stand on one of the switches and then someone else stands on the other one, and that puts all the flames out so that you can each get past. And hilarity, of course, ensues if someone steps off the switch too early and so on. And you know how it goes. It wasn't me, I didn't mean to do that. Just pressing the buttons. Yeah, there we go. You can do a diagonal downstairs, so I was just doing it wrong. Never quite known how to get that chest up there, I don't think. I don't know if there's some way of flying up there or something with one of the characters, but I never quite figured it out, I don't think. One of the things I like about this game is there is a bunch of really cool remixes of classic Castlevania themes. Some of them are sort of Michiru Yamane originals, a lot of them are just sort of in her style, but they all sound great. That whole sort of gothic rock style is always been the perfect fit for the series, and although Lords of Shadow soundtrack was perfectly good in its own merits as a sort of orchestral dramatic gothic soundtrack, that was one of the reasons for me that it didn't quite feel Castlevania enough for me. I do fully intend to go and revisit Lords of Shadow at some point in the near future, because I'm pretty sure that and especially its sequel, are games that they get a whole lot more hate than is necessary, I think. way, I'm not entirely sure why I came up here. Cannot remember the best route around this level at all. I've been that way, been through there. Hold on, I think I see a way. Here, maybe? Yes, not maybe this way yet. Delicious California roll. As we know, the Lord Vlad Dracul, he was very keen on his sushi. There's the boss down there. Real pisser of a boss as well, this one. Look at the animation on that cape, it's so good. Alright, so because of the way the boss works in this one, you want to try and make sure you've got as many open paths around as possible, so that you can get to the various different places he ends up going. Otherwise, you'll be in a bit of trouble. Alright, let's go for it.
I need only place this puppet right inside here. I need only place this.
The main mechanic with this bastard is he keeps putting dolls into Iron Maidens, and if you allow him to finish doing that, then he will cause great difficulty for you.
Only place this puppet right inside here.
Curse isn't the end of the world for Alucard because he's a melee attacker. Curse can really mess up characters like Charlotte and Shanoa. He's on his way down now, so we need to anticipate where he's going. This looks to be down this way. We need to get ahead of him, really, which I've failed to do. Otherwise he will start his I would need only place this puppet right inside here.
Right inside here.
And take up a whole chunk of your health in one go. Like that. There we go.
I need only place this puppet right inside here.
The one slight advantage of letting that happen if you've got the health to stoke it up is that it does then teleport you to the place that it happened. And you see, this is also why we put the boxes in front of the Iron Maidens as well, so it stops him from using those altogether. No, I don't think that's right, is it? I think I'm going to die, aren't I? Yes, I am. Oh well, it was nice knowing you, Alucard. So that's Castlevania HD. We've spent nearly an hour playing that anyway, so I think it's probably time to play something else for a bit. But yeah, I really like that game, and I think more people should enjoy it. And you just missed it being cheap on PSN for Halloween as well, so I'm sure you're delighted about that. Alright. Have I still got... Yes, I have. It's time for some Ridge Racer. So this is Ridge Racer 7, which I haven't quite decided if it's my favourite